Hey, welcome everyone to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez, and we are legit running skeleton crew this week.
Yep.
But that's cool because we got my boy Charlie B. Williams III here.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here.
Yeah,
I'm here another week in the new year. I can only say that for a couple more weeks, the new year, and then we got to stop talking about it.
Yeah, no, we can stop that at any moment.
Oh man, I guess it's stop
now. Welcome Luis Diaz. And then there's Noel. Hello. My girl Noel. She's I think she's in the hospital right now. Because what happens is you get a little mouthy and people bust you up.
Oh, you about to get in trouble.
Oh, hey. If you want to join in the conversation there on the old chat room, go ahead and feel free to do that. And except you, Noel, you can go ahead and put your keyboard away. Otherwise, you can use that's right. Oh man, we don't have sound effects today, but that's okay. You can use the Sketch Zone hotline. That's 408-SKETCH-8 international callers 011-408-753-8248.
I just read the chat. See, I feel the love in the chat. Look at that. Thankfully, we still have Charlie here. That's great. That's great. Feel the love from the nation. Who's all in the chat today?
That's it.
Shout out to Noel.
That's it. No, fake news. Fake news.
Louis.
Making fun of the injured. Cool. Not nice.
Yeah, you did. You straight did. You thought she was in the hospital and you still went in.
I mean, well, that's because she's a troublemaker. Hey, let us see. The timing is a little off, the music, but that's okay. Here we go. Let's take a look at some fun prompts. Last week's fun prompt. Hey, Joey Wall is here.
What's up, Joey? Yeah.
Good morning. Let's make it a good. I think you
is it morning for him?
Yeah, he just woke up. And he's about to go to work, so we are his stand-in for coffee. If you,
Joey, you know what you got to do? You got to hook if you have a car, you got to hook up your phone so it comes through the speakers of your car when you get in your car. So it'll be like your morning show, like the morning show here for Sketch Zone.
Hey, welcome to the Sketch Zone.
Yeah,
welcome to the Sketch Zone Fun House.
So I was driving into work today, Carlos. We should do a morning show.
Oh, that would actually be pretty funny.
Yeah, we have to get up way early though if we do a morning show.
Yeah,
they started at like 4 a.m. I don't know if I want to do that though.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No. Moving on.
So let's see. It's 5:10 a.m. Oh,
good Lord.
Poor child. Wow.
Is it dark still? Probably looks exactly how it looks out my window right now.
Right, exactly.
It is 11:12.
Wait, Joey, what's tomorrow look like? Tell us the future. Speaking of the past, last week we had a character, which was speaking of which, we're about to look at these. Chat room, please. You know how it works. Adjective, animal, character, action, style, and location. Start making your selections now, please.
You preload the chat?
I have to. Because otherwise everyone's just kind of like,
they're thinking about it.
We can get them loaded up right now. New for 2019. The morning show, the wacky morning show. Noel, pipe down. Location. Get out of here with that mess. Oh, last week we had cult leader. So let's see what the nation did. That's mine. I had a question. Why is it that pretty much all cult leaders have a beard and glasses and are many times, hey, Sean Keenan is here. What's up, buddy? How's it? Actually, you want to talk about even bigger time gap? Joey I believe, is in England, in the Great Britain area.
Great Britain.
Sean is down under.
Oh, he's farther. Yeah.
So it's like next Wednesday.
Is he 2 weeks in the future? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like February 15th. Tell me what Valentine's Day was like. Hey, you just described Charlie. What, dark? I don't.
Glasses and beard.
Glasses. Oh, okay. That's different.
Still describe me though, if you think about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Dark beard and glasses. I'm great, guys. It's good to see you, Sean. So yeah, this one's mine. All these cult leaders, they just forget to comb their hair. They're wearing
dope mints.
They all wear medallions. They all wear bathrobes in public. It's like, bro, really? And of course, you have to toss in the Nikes. Mr.
You gotta be comfortable. You gotta be comfortable.
That's funny. He says, Mr. Voices, even though we're here every week, no judgment. Moving on.
Mishearing them. Don't listen to Carlos. This is why he gets yelled at in the chat. Thanks for being here, Sean. God, I gotta clean this up.
Oh,
no, this is crazy. This is violent. He's a taco?
Yeah.
Cult leader?
Because this happened. So basically, Carlos without a beard. Damn. This is hilarious because this drawing, like Shiloh finished this drawing right after Trump served all those athletes burgers.
Yo, that was a crazy picture. The memes have been amazing on that one. Have you seen the one where he put Ronald McDonald's head on Trump and he's standing in front of it? It's so great.
You see the one where he's dressed up like Hamburglar?
No. Yo, why is not McDonald's like jumped on this? Exactly. I would have straight jumped on this for marketing. Yeah. I would have got a vice president promotion off of this one right here. If I was at McDonald's, I'm like, yo,
totally.
All we gotta do is show the memes on our Instagram, and then just do polls. Let's see.
So funny. Wonderful work yet again.
Yeah, like, great job.
I just can't. This dude. I legit asked him today to give me some tutorials. He told me to relax.
He told you to relax?
No, he was cool about it. I was trying to make it funny, but he was totally cool. They had Wendy's and Domino's too. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, yo, he tried not to cater to that. He just all the low tiered.
Look at that. Joey pointed out the fact that they had Wendy's and Domino's, and the very next drawing was his. This is incredible.
This is crazy.
I really like this. Hey, Joey, like, what did you use for this? Because this is cool. It's all kinds of things happening.
Yeah, we got to.
I can see a face. I can see like all kinds of stuff. It's like Blair Witch Project type of stuff.
Yeah, it's like inanimate object.
Procreate. No way. Okay, I see you. Okay, Joey Artwall or Joey Wall Art for the win. Joey Wall.
That's great job, Joey.
Come on, get it together. Yeah, great job, Joey.
Nice.
Nin MV or Nin, MV, which is Nin Vannery. Very cool.
Ooh, watercolor style.
Look at that. She's just new to Instagram too.
Yeah, welcome to the prompts. Yeah,
she crushed. That's a really good job.
It's creepy and good at the same time. But the hair is too perfect.
That makes sense. Yeah, the hair is dope. The face is a little. I don't know if you can see my.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah,
the face is just a little bit shifted. But that's. I mean.
Yeah,
I can't draw realistic, so that's just
comes with time.
Me being like art directory.
Yeah, it's the jaw.
But still, great job.
It's okay.
This is obviously in her sketchbook, so this is traditional. Probably some watercolor and some inks and stuff. Death to pigs. If they have bacon, hell yeah, kill them all.
It was Death to cops. Yeah, but like, is it David Koresh?
No, I know,
but
like it's. I know, but
very David Koresh, like
straight up. Straight up bacon head.
Didn't he cut himself from
There you go, Charlie.
No. I saw this one. I forgot about this one. Yeah. Can we get this on a shirt?
We could. We can definitely do that.
Can we literally get this on a shirt or a jacket or something? A windbreaker, something. I will pay. Just let me know what it is, and I will put my money up and send it to you. If you can put this on a shirt.
Noelle asked me to be quiet before she puts me on timeout. I finished my drawing for her, by the way. So my penance is done. I can be a jerk.
What, did you give it to her yet?
No.
It's not really done yet.
DM me your email, and I'll send you the files. Anyway, yeah, I know what to do. Good job, Jack. Good job, Jack. Jack is literally sitting on a plane as we speak.
He's on a plane right now.
No, he posted it. Yeah, but if you want the bigger version,
I know what to do.
I'll send it to you. That's hilarious.
So good.
And then we got who is the crap?
Scary.
Cult leaders looking for members. Kool-Aid. No. Dang it! Who did this one? Dang damn it!
No name for it?
I'll find out. Because you can share things so many different ways.
Do you click on the picture? It's always take you back to
the. This was no wrong one. Anyway, I'll find out, and then we'll Bad Art Corner. Hey, Shiloh here. What's up, Shiloh?
Hey, Shiloh. What's up?
Yeah, sometimes I
delete
the
name
on accident.
Okay, cool. All right.
So awesome. Yeah,
a little Cthulhu inspired-ish.
Yeah, I like it. I can totally see like some splashes coming out from the back, and it would be straight up like a Bad Art Corner. There we go. Yeah. It'd be like that what's that opera that Disney did with Mickey Mouse? Fantasia. Yeah. That's where my brain goes.
Mm-hmm. A big wave behind him or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Good job, Bad Art Corner. Shiloh, don't talk to her. It's never good.
Yo. You two are silly.
And yet again, I deleted the dumb name.
How are you deleting the name?
Sometimes I just want to clean things up.
Okay.
Shiloh sent this to me, though.
Yeah, that's good. I like this one.
I think this is one of our regulars, too. So I just want to make sure.
Thanks, Shiloh. He's saving your butt right now.
I know. Shiloh saving the day. Boom. So there you go. Iggy Doodles killing it. Nice, cute job, little kitties. I like on one side he's got the cat holding the lazy boy, and on the other side there's a scooter because he doesn't have that many followers.
That's funny.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Imagine animating that.
So that means we're going to take a look at the fun prompt. So Noelle said location, but I'm not sure.
Drop your location, son.
To Noelle. I'm not sure we want to listen to Noelle. She never ever.
I like location. We got to do that one.
Anything. Anyone else? Any suggestions?
Drop your location.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I wonder if we just did location.
What would that look like? Chicago. Boom.
Ooh.
I'm in.
I kind of like it.
Right? Charlie doesn't either. All right, chat room. How about
what do I forget? What are you talking about? I don't understand the chat.
Charlie doesn't either. Shut up, you're just mad people like me. And Carlos also forgets how to do things. Reminds me of Charlie.
I don't forget. Okay, yeah.
She's probably medicated. All right, let's do character.
Yo, nice try. Nope.
If Charlie,
I'm not a bad drawer.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I flashed him a drawing a couple weeks ago on break. He did. Feeling frisky. Still got it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do character and location. But I like Chicago, so I'm gonna leave that one.
Well, next week
we're gonna do a taxi. No, we're not gonna do a taxi. But how about a police officer? Perfect. Police officer in Chicago.
I don't really mess with them.
I try not to.
I'm in Chicago.
I know. Give it, Shiloh, tell her, do something. So Noelle, go ahead and craft.
I think Noelle's probably pretty good.
Craft a police officer in Chicago.
Oh, that's kind of cool. You could totally like arts and craft, yeah, you probably could do something. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. A little vignette thing. Nothing big. Be awesome. Take a week. Yeah,
do something with yourself. All right, I'm going to post this, and so the
on there, Shiloh, crafted fun prompt. That'd be cool.
That would be dope.
That would be dope. See, because then you can remember what is Chicago police? What would it be? Would it be like, old school checkerboard hat? Like what would it be? What's Chicago? What's like the badge? Like something.
And are they like the kind of cops that are like, meh, see? Meh.
See, you just have everybody bring stuff to you now, because they'll do it for you right now because you can't move much, right? Hey, could you go ahead and just bring my craft stuff so I can just here and do some stuff, keep myself busy. Yeah, it's perfect time now. Now as you get better, they're gonna be like, no, but right now,
I think she's still in the hospital, so her crafting is probably going to be.
She's at home. She said she's at home.
Oh, is she?
Quiet. She told you to be quiet. She's at home.
Oh,
misinformation.
Yeah. Well,
fake news you're trying to spread.
What it is she tells me she's in the hospital, so she tries to get me to feel bad. But I don't.
He feels bad.
But I don't.
I think you could pull something off. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm in.
When's the last time anybody craft? Like, if you think about it, when's the last time you cut something out of construction paper? I get confronted with these dilemmas every day because my daughter's a crafter. So, so she's like, so I'm having to show skill of cutting stuff out or doing some paint or whatever.
Yeah. The only time I bust out a pair of scissors is in the kitchen.
Okay, I can see that.
I'll take out some kitchen shears and just
I have to stop though.
Cut up some chicken or some sausage.
But I have to stop though. Monica yelled at me the other week because she overheard me in the other room, and she's like, "Are you really art directing your daughter right now?" I was like,
"She gotta learn."
It's like, no, she just need to do it right first. She's like, let her do what she wants. Because I was like, why don't you use this color? And I started arguing with my daughter. She's like, let her use whatever color she wants. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's probably right. She's still doing a good job, but I'm just saying. She's pretty good. She's very artsy. I don't know if it's a phase, but we'll see. Hopefully it keeps going. And then Violet just
once you get kids wrapped up in something that gives them that really good feedback.
Dude, she likes a bunch of different stuff. We get her the box of arts and crafts stuff or construction paper. She's randomly just she got one of those old school desks. She's just randomly coloring there. Now that's turned into the dining room table, which I don't really like, but it's covered with stuff. She's always building stuff. So it's kind of cool. Anyway.
Nice. Your values are off, honey. Not really sure who that's for.
Yeah, that's the whole conversation.
Oh, I see. He's talking as if he's you and you're talking to Ava, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, look at you. Your values are off.
No, I'm telling color in the lines.
I ever tell you I was in kindergarten actually, and we were coloring with our colors, our crayons.
Listen to you, you sound like you in kindergarten. We were coloring with our colors.
And you know, like I was taught you color the line with the crayon and then you fill in. So then the outside of the shape is going to be a darker version of the color that fills in, right?
I taught you how to color. Okay, cool.
My uncle and my mom.
And so hardcore right there. You outline this first and then
outline this. Hey, Alonzo, sorry.
What up, Alonzo?
So yeah, so we were in class at color time, and one of the kids that was like my first official friend that wasn't like my brother or whatever, he's like, why are you coloring the lines? I was like, no, I don't know. It makes it look better. He goes, no, it doesn't. You're not my friend anymore.
Some little kid logic.
I'm like, so whoever the hell that was, how you like me now, bitch? Like,
you don't hold grudges at all.
Oh, it's been a long damn time too, boy. My crayon game is on point, son.
Yeah, we definitely use crayons. Oh, see, that's what we should do. We should throw in modifiers. Like, you gotta use crayons.
Do you know Motion Builder?
Do I know Motion Builder?
Yeah.
Ooh, not really, Alonzo. I know of it, but I've used it very little. I would like to use it more though. It's good for mocap and stuff like that. I've used other things, like Kinema, a bunch of other things, for instead of Motion Builder.
It's apparently really good because it's $1,700 a year.
Yeah, that's why we haven't used Motion Builder. But I just brokered a nice little deal. Shout out to Autodesk. So I just brokered a new deal at the company. So I will have Motion Builder in the suite that I'll be getting now.
Dun dun dun.
But it's good for motion capture. Good for when I was working at High Voltage Software, we had our own motion capture studio across the park lot called Red Eye. And they use Motion Builder because we had the Viacom motion capture system. So it's good for cleanup motion capture. It's good for animation, but it's mostly mocap and cleanup and stuff like that. Export it out to whatever other program you're using. Do you use Motion Builder, Alonzo?
Anyone know Motion Builder? Working on an art test and trying to fake my way through it. So I'm gonna say what it's probably a kind of, but not really.
I'm gonna say no. It's an emphatic no. Okay. So is it an animator position, and that's what they use because you have to clean up motion capture too?
Yeah, give us some context. What are we doing?
That's always hard.
And while you do that, what I want to do is I want to let everyone know that Sketch Zone will be at Ground Zero Animation Expo again this year. Yeah, 2K games, WWE game. Oh, cool.
Long lasting franchise. Yeah, it'd be dope. Hope you get it.
Yeah, give me a holler. I'll come visit. Cause isn't 2K games like right down the street here in where are they?
I would say, Alonzo, if you're doing an art test, when did you get the art test? How long you got? When did you get the art test? Novato.
That's right. You know who else is in Novato?
Who?
Autodesk.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh. The headquarters?
I believe so.
Oh, is it like fancy? Wednesday to Wednesday. Good art test. They gave you a nice week, and they gave you the weekend. Oh, you can go hard. So
we're trying to get Charlie to come out.
Yeah,
he has enough of a window or a heads up.
We do working on a lot of things this year. That's one of them. Alonzo, I want to finish this out though.
Hold on.
What's up?
Because he gave me a link to his demo reel. You want to do a portfolio review?
Do that right now. Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right, hold up.
Let's do that.
Let me share my screen.
Your portfolio is good, right?
We'll find out. So far, so good. I mean,
yeah.
The thumbnail
good about the name.
The thumbnail is pretty dope.
Oh yeah, I feel good about this. Let's go. Full screen it.
Yeah, hold up. I am gonna do that, but let me.
I'm gonna look at it myself. Come on, I can't wait.
I'm gonna close up.
My screen. Okay, go. Thought my camera was like.
And don't get nervous, Alonzo. 2K Games does not watch this show.
You never know. Yeah, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Oh yeah, you did break all time. Sure. It's cool. You're fine. You'll be fine. You know
what? We're going to do this.
But technically, you got from Wednesday to tomorrow to like Saturday or Sunday if you really want to do it.
Oh, by the way, look at my puppy. Oh, look at who's a good boy. Anyway, that's enough of that. All right, we're going full screen. Booyah.
I'm feeling good about this. Let's go. You got music? We don't need music.
Yeah, it does, but there's really nothing I can do about this. How far are we going with this, Alonzo? Like, did you do the modeling and stuff, or are you just animating?
It should tell you in the motion in the reel.
Look at Noel said if Charlie comes to Ground Zero, Noel will show up to pick on me in person.
Ooh, that's tempting now. Ooh.
We're pitching Eva. Ricky would be embarrassed. Yeah, he would.
Who's Ricky?
My dog.
Oh, your dog's name's Ricky, like Ricky Ricardo.
Yeah, and my other dog is Lucy.
He's so stupid.
Just animated. First stuff for Magic, Fuel Games, Rest.
I know that's 2 games.
Okay, cool. So you're an animator, Alonzo?
Yes, Carlos.
So far, so good. Like I'm digging all of this so far. Charlie?
Yeah, I'm good. It's intro. Let's go. Let's get into the thing. Here we go.
So the music, it's like a version of Papa Was a Rolling Stone.
Okay, cool. Usually I would review reels and I'll turn the music off. So this is actually perfect for me.
Yeah, because I can figure out a way to make the music play.
You don't need it.
Pretty cool.
It's just
okay.
It's like dead air. It's cool.
Noel.
So Alonzo has some game experience. 2 different game companies. Gets the model from the modeling department.
So the primary animation is dope. Secondary animation is really good too. The cape.
Alonzo, do you do the rigging too?
Dope. Yeah. Did you do the rigging or just animating?
Are they big enough companies to compartmentalize that stuff, or you got to do that too? Cool. Nice weight. Nice weight on this one.
Yeah. And I think like if you guys are watching this on YouTube later, take a look at hey Alonzo, let me know. Can I share these links and stuff? Because we can definitely put these on the show notes. Look at what Alonzo's doing. What he's doing really well is showing a lot of weight. Like these big, huge things take their time to reach their point. They're separate keyframes.
And usually these things will be in-game cinematics. So like in between you playing the level, it could be the intro of the level, or it could happen in the middle or whatever. So you had the reveal of the monster, the boss monster he did, and then players are playing in front of him. based off different timing and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, here we go. Different style. We just jump styles.
Yep. Yeah, and that's another really good thing that you're doing, Alonzo, is you're showing different kinds of animation. There's definitely different ways of running, different ways of walking, different people walk and run different ways, and it's really cool that you're doing that in your demo.
You also gotta understand too, game animation is a little bit different than like animation at
movies,
like kind of animation Jack does, or or animation Jack used to do when he was at Digital Domain and stuff like that. So with game animation is a lot more. It has to fit, like it has to flow in sequence, right? You do a lot of smaller animations that flow into one big one. So like if it's a run cycle, the run cycle has to transition to a run, to a walk, to stop, or if it's a fight sequence or something like that, a lot of times you do a bunch of animations so that when they put all these animations in the engine, they can flow in together. So it's a lot more. It's a lot extra thinking.
Yeah, Jack does do this type of stuff. Obviously, game animation is just like Charlie just got done saying. He does more like movie stuff, movie and TV show type of stuff.
Yeah.
But still, the approach is
the same.
Is basically the same. The finished project or the finished product of the animation is a little bit different.
And a lot of times, like the technical aspects, I guess, could be a little different based off of like what engine you're using, how many bones you have in the rig. So a lot of times, like where a film rig will be a little bit more elaborate than what you have in a game rig, which game rigging has come a long way now. You would have to then adapt to that based off of the limited number of bones you might have in the rig and still be able to pull off a good performance. So mobile is going to be very different than console, which is very different than than like PC sometimes. Yeah, see the first part. So if you go back to, I knew it. I knew you're good. So if you go back to the beginning,
the very beginning,
all the colorful like characters, I kind of figured those are mobile games. Yeah, those have only 14 bones total. Whereas you can have more sophisticated rig, and 14 bones could be in just like the hands, the hands and arms, one arm, so maybe 10 in the hands, and then like you got your arm and elbow joints, all that good stuff. So imagine having it just total whole body. So that range of motion, you're not going to have the same range of motion you would have if you had more bones in the model. So then you got to become, smart on how you animate it and still show the same amount of character in life. So that first guy I did with the beard, and then the other guy that was kind of floating and stuff like that, you got to get frisky with like props that they're using and stuff like that. It's good, because you don't have that many bones.
and so folks that don't know about rigging and animating in 3D and stuff, like there's way more limitations to a game just because it's happening in real time, and there's it all boils down to memory management and how much information you can push through a system. So and not only does it include geometry, meaning all of the polygons that make the shape that you're seeing, for example, right here, but you also have the bones, you have the information for the animation, you have the environment, you have all the textures, you have all this stuff that's getting pushed through this pipeline that shows up on your TV. And there's a limitation to that. The more stuff you throw at the processors, it could very easily become super, super choppy. And then that's what makes you not want to play a game, is that choppiness. Whereas, say, to help answer Alonzo's earlier question, Jack has done a lot of work in movies, and now he's doing Netflix series And so that's a little more lenient. Like when Jack first got into the movie industry, he was animating hair in a movie called My Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Uma Thurman.
And so hair, you can have just like an obscene amount of bones to control the different parts of the hair.
And think about that. Jack was only hired just to animate,
just to do hair.
That was his first job. And he didn't know how to do it. If you go back to Jack's episode, he gives a really good story about his first couple of weeks at Digital Domain.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, and the reason why it's different is because basically when you're done with animating and texturing and modeling and doing all that stuff for games, all of that gets put into a game engine, and the game engine then takes all that information and pushes it through, and then it ends up on your TV. Whereas a movie, the reason why all the bones and all that stuff there's no real price to pay for that is because what ends up happening after you animate it is you send it through a renderer, and the renderer makes the pictures that then play back to back to back to back, that then makes it look like it moves. So there's no real, the only real memory management that you have to do when you're making TV shows and movies is if you're pushing through, say, 4K video footage versus 1080p or even 720. So if your computer is strong enough to run or to be able to let you edit 4K video or even 8K now, that's the only thing that you really need to worry about. Because everything, for the lack of a better term, everything gets flattened, and then you have a video file that's complete, and that's all you have to worry about. Games, you have to worry about literally everything that's happening all at the same time. And it's things like this character that we're looking at now. If it was in a world, let's go to a world. Here we go. Here we go. In a 3D environment, all of these characters, the game engine has to keep track of what's happening in this whole entire scene. So where's my mouse? There it is. And especially something like this, where
what game is that, Alonzo? What game is this one right here?
Yeah, what game is this? Because it looks pretty cool. So here, the game engine is actually controlling all this grass, and then if you turn on, say, some wind, now the game engine has to control the wind velocity. Savage 3.
Okay.
The wind has to control the wind velocity. Each blade of grass, if that's how it's set up, and these days it does get that deep, each blade of grass, these rocks, these animals, these characters running through, and how do these characters affect the grass that's that they're running through? And not only that, but these trees in the background, all those leaves and stuff, to make it look real, the game engine has to tell those leaves what to do. Is it windy? Is it not windy? Do we have like, if there's a war happening over here in the background, in this fog of war way back there, like all of that stuff has to be calculated. And that's why games are hard. Games are hard to do. Games are hard to pull off and do a really good job made in Unreal. So there you go, Charlie.
Nice. Yep. Nice. I like it. Keep going. Keep going. Let's keep going.
Let's see. Yeah, and like Luis said, lighting too. And lighting is tough.
Because yep, that's all the tricking games. Lighting's usually baked, but we're getting to the point where we can do some more real-time lighting and stuff. But
yeah,
usually you make the lighting looks cool and you bake it in. But the cool part about it is you can tweak the lighting on the fly. You don't have to wait for a render, stuff like that. It's cool, especially in an engine like Unreal. I like that. Keep going. Nice.
So yeah, so here we go. And again, you know, now that we're seeing this battle scene, not only are we using the game engine to control the environment and all the characters, but how many times does this character get hit? How much life does it have left? If this character is swinging an axe and has 25% of his life left, is he swinging that axe just as hard as if he had 100% life? And those are all the things that go into a game that
different departments, like the design department, level designers, system designers, gameplay designers.
Yeah.
Then you have your animation department.
Huge.
What'd you say?
That's why game development teams are huge.
Yeah. Cool.
Generally speaking, there's been a few of them that are just like, I think it's on Netflix. Maybe was it the Indies or Indie?
Oh, I think I heard of this. I think I know what you're talking about.
Indie game documentary.
Yeah, that's for independents. So those are really small. Independent game developers came up last 5, 6, 7 years. The indie market has come up really big. You know,
it's got a 93% on here. Let me do this. So it's got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you can play the trailer on YouTube. Where can we see it though? Great movie. If you want to get into gaming, if you want to get into independent gaming, this is a great movie to watch. When I was making
games are hard.
My game,
I would know what they get into.
Yeah, I would play this movie in the background just to keep me motivated. But anyway, yeah, take a look at it. Indie Game, the movie. Great movie. Anyway, here we go. Back to portfolio review.
You must be.
Yeah, he's done this before. This is
no. I'm just thinking about the art test. That means because like when I was at EA, kind of generally knows how those sport titles go. I'm assuming that they're hiring like amateur wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even WWE guys.
He's been animating for 12 years. So what the hell are we doing? We're telling you.
Just critique. Just showing off the real. I figured after, he had 2 different game companies on there. So
yeah.
So they probably use a mocap. Alonzo, they probably use a mocap from.
Yeah, are you animating? Have you used mocap?
No, he hasn't. I'm sure he does all this stuff by hand, like traditionally. But like I'm just talking about for the WWE stuff. Because they're using motion builder. I would think they probably have a sound stage and they bring in either the actual wrestlers because they have the license, or they use some amateur wrestlers that are really good too, and for certain moves, and then they'll probably have to like clean that mocap up and then animate over top of it and stuff. And they give you a pretty good brief, Alonzo, on the art test, or was it like a paragraph?
He said, yeah, WWE, they are mocapping and then animating hands and face.
See, look at that. I'm good, Carlos. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if, for beginning animators out there that are wanting to get their animation up to the next level, these are things that you need to pay attention to. Watch this bear as it runs by. You see how heavy it looks?
It's got the craziest ones. It's awesome.
And then not only that, but the secondary animation of the ponytails.
Yeah.
That's the secondary animation. A lot of people forget about that. And so
last students do too.
Yeah, and so it starts to look a little stiff. But on the other side, like if you do it a little too much, everything starts to look gummy and elastic, and you don't really want that to happen either. So you really have to pay attention to the weight of different things. That dude right there is my favorite so far.
That's cool.
This dude is just boom.
So based off of what you have on here, Alonzo, I'm assuming that you're trying to get into more just trying to diversify, get into some more realistic stuff for a little bit, try something different.
What is home? Oh, he left.
Like what's some of your goals, buddy? Just want to know. I know how it is when you're at a studio that does a lot of stuff like this, and then you move into something that has a little bit more different.
Whoa! Look at that!
Different games.
Talk about doing the wave.
It's a nice change of pace. Yeah, this is great stuff.
Yeah, super solid.
Yeah, because all these like run cycles, all these other different things, he has to have these things kind of feed into other things. It's an interesting thing as a game animator. I put him in very high regards. So yeah. Yo, he just murked that dude.
Yeah. Hold up. I was reading the chat room. All right, here you go.
Makes sense. Cool.
Holy Christ. Yeah, that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that if I'm going to be super, super picky, hang on, let's finish watching. If I'm going to be super, super picky, all of this stuff is super, super like game ready stuff, right? Everything is legit. Everything looks like, okay, yeah, that's in a game. And then all of a sudden you end up with, and I'm not critiquing your animation at all, because the animation is tight, but going from something this finished and polished to something like this took me back to a really good Students demo reel. The animation is tight. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think I disagree a little bit though, because it's just about the animation or animator reel. They're not gonna. No one's gonna look at this unfinished piece.
Okay.
They're gonna just look at the animation.
Okay.
You know, actually, the guys, they like that. This is very like, even based off of like online schools like Animation Mentor and a couple of other good ones and stuff like that. They made that style really big because people like Bobby Beck and Carlos Pineda and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they talk about every time they have a meeting, a meet up or a talk. They just want to see the animation as soon as possible. Okay. So in that rough format, you see enough. You see enough of what you want to see, and you know that like if you gave it to someone like me or anybody else, the animation will look even better on finished models. So they just want to see the movement.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Alonzo said he's on the job hunt, so he's looking for openings. His kids keep saying that they like food.
Yeah. You see like a recurring thing. So you try to cut that out, huh? Yeah. It's like, you don't really need that part.
You guys are getting a little hefty.
We got all this water here. All this beautiful water. Just drink water when you get hungry.
That's hilarious. That's what my mom said. No, actually,
thanks for
sharing,
Alonzo.
Can we get some pop? She'd be like, drink water. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good for you. Yeah. But thanks, Alonzo. That was great. Great reel.
I'm like, unless you live in Flint, and then you better go drink some pop.
Bottled water. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. As a matter of fact, Alonzo, before we go too far, yeah, we got to have you on. We can talk to you. Like, you're legit, man. We can get you on the schedule, have you come and showcase. So we'll learn,
talk, and Jack will
open right more about you. And don't tell me anything that you don't have time. You have time.
Mm-hmm. Now we get him on here and have him start speaking the animator speaking. It'll open up Jack. He'd be like, "Wait a minute, what?
I know.
Ooh, another animator. Boom. They go on that run." Jack does when he gets
like 3 hours later. Yeah,
he's like, "I like him. He's a nice guy."
Yeah. No, that's great work, dude. Good stuff.
All right, that was good. That was a good change of pace. It's cool. I like that. Little
on the spot
portfolio review
that didn't even need to have a
review or a showcase. I would say
it's only a matter of time, son.
That man's been.
I don't understand
for years, so
I don't understand
nice showcase.
How he lives where he lives and is working.
Is that like a
industry.
Talk about that?
It's kind of far from.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that considered like a suburb or whatever? How you put it in terms
It's
of
a
like
town.
where I live?
It's
Like
a town,
would
but
that be like living in Aurora versus downtown or farther out?
ish. It's probably not even as big as Aurora.
Oh,
Yeah. So it'd probably
wow.
be like, I don't know, like a town that everyone has heard of, but not really. Like maybe Glen Ellen or even
okay.
Barrington, maybe like a Barrington,
Okay.
kind of like that.
So
But
far removed from the main here, so it takes some commuting if you did
ooh,
that.
yeah, see, that happens. He
Where is
said
that?
last job, an hour 45-minute commute each way.
Ooh.
Boy, we got a
Wow.
job before was in Petaluma, which is not that bad.
Not
Here
that
you go,
bad.
Alonzo. The last job that I had to drive down to Santa Clara, and I live in Sonoma. That was like, so Nevada looks pretty good. Hell yeah, it
It's
does.
true. You're right.
Hell yeah, it does. So yeah, so I live in Sonoma, which is north of the Bay, and Santa
Okay.
Clara is South Bay. So
South Bay.
it was like with no traffic, it was like an hour and a half,
Mm.
sometimes 2 hours on a Friday afternoon. It was that you just
You get home
drive
Friday evening.
off a cliff because it's not even.
Maybe a shortcut.
I used to yeah, it was like that. It got to the point where and I got to work from home sometimes too. So I wasn't
You
going
just
to
leave really early in the morning.
Actually, no. I would leave after rush hour in the morning. So I would get up, go to the gym, and then leave the gym and drive to the office. So that would probably be like 9 o'clock, let's say. And then I'd get to the office probably like 2.5 hours later. And then we would have a meeting, then we'd go to lunch, and then we would all work for the rest of the afternoon. And then and then I found out that there was a golf course right there, so I'd just go golfing until
Ooh.
nighttime.
Yo, that's the best. Yeah, that sounds expensive though.
Yeah, it was.
But
it's a lot better than sitting
leaving
in
work to
traffic
go
for
golfing
4
every day?
hours.
Yeah, that's true. It is
You know what I
valuable.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, but now I work for myself and oh yeah, hey, some of my projects that we can talk about. If you go
Ooh.
to coconutjustice.com, that's going to bounce you to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Everyone in the chat room I should be getting alerts that all of you guys have subscribed to my my YouTube channel. And actually no, but we've changed the format of the show. We've we're trying to work on things as we're talking.
New year, new me.
But one of the cool things is, you know how like if you Alonzo, you're relatively new to the show, and Luis has seen it because he gives me just wonderful feedback every time I release something. But the coolest thing is starting to happen now that I jumped on doing my own thing. And I'm doing all my videos, and this is a pep talk for people who are just trying to figure their way into, or they're trying to break into the industry, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Start working on your own stuff. And actually, this is something that we're pitching to Ground Zero Animation Expo. We want to do a talk about doing your own stuff and the importance of doing that. Even if you're in the industry, continue doing your own stuff. One of the coolest things is starting to happen. I'm doing all this stuff. I've been working on all my own ideas and everything. And now that all that stuff is being released, everyone wants to be like, oh, hey, I have this logo that I need you to work on. Oh, there's this video project that I want you to do. Oh, there's this website that I want you to do. And I'm like, where were you when I didn't have anything to do? But that's, I mean, you work on something and and things like attract
to you,
right?
which is good. Yeah.
So you have a project, you work on your own project, and that attracts more projects and even more projects after that. And now it's getting to the point where definitely personal projects work as great portfolio pieces. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and then like the hardest thing is just like figuring out what you want to do, you know, and then do it. At least that's for me. Like, because I always have a bunch of projects in mind or ideas for projects or learning. So it's like cramming in everything and finding a balance. You know, one of the cool things about working during the show and stuff like that and showing stuff off is being able to find the balance of like organizing your thoughts as an artist and figuring out what you can do with your time, you know, because working on your stuff could be self-improvement / having a project. All the self-improvement works toward you being able to complete projects and stuff like that. I think goes full 360. And then from that, like Carlos is saying, like you can get work from that, you know, outwardly. And then we've talked about this before. I'm sure you've heard this before with artists and stuff like that. Then it's the actual, you know, job of putting yourself out there in terms of posting work and stuff like that. Posting work not just for the admiration of having work posted up, but like really posting work with the intent on getting better, right? Knowing that what you're posting up is not final, you know, and you want critiques and you want feedback. You know, there's a bunch of different sites and stuff that I can go on and on about all these different sites where they give you legit critique. Like you post it up, you get paragraphs of stuff if you're good. If you're not getting any hits, then you know, keep posting, get better. Something will catch that person's eye to give them more than enough time for them to take time out of their schedule and not click by you and give you critique. It's a good barometer to see how you're doing and see how your quality is coming. You know, doing personal work is good, but I think I'm always of the notion of doing personal work to get better, right? And then it being proved to you that you're getting better, by not just by people liking your stuff, but more so by you seeking out these forums, these groups, Facebook groups, these different outlets to get positive critique from people that are legitimately been where you are, not people on the same level, although they can give you some good insights here and there, but legitimately seeking out people that are better than you and getting feedback so that when you post again, it's a little bit better than what it was before, you know, so that your personal work gets better and not just doing work for work sake, you know, you want to get better. And then, like Alonzo said, you prime that well because you have good work and people see your work, they see you posted, you have a presence online. Next thing you know, people are calling you for different things. And, you know, or when you're doing the art test and you're doing the things like that, it's like, okay, what art test do I want to do? Or what freelance do I want to take based off of this? Or you get to the point like where Jack is, you know, shout out to Jack. I miss you, Jack. But you get the point to where Jack is, where like people contact him because he did personal work, like he said last week on the show, because he wanted to try something else. And then he gets work. It gets people that want to pay him to do the work that he was doing for his personal work. Or we like your style, so let's just work out a deal together so that you can do your style and get paid for it. You know, that's the goals. That's what a lot of the professional artists and stuff that we've had on here. Sometimes people come seek them out because they like what they do, but they wouldn't have got to that point unless what they did the work and then they got better as they're doing the work.
He said, "Do you know One Fantastic Week? They talk about personal work leading to getting paid to do what you want all the time." I've heard of it. I haven't followed up, but now that we're here, I will.
Oh no, I haven't. Let's
see if we can find. It looks like.
Oh,
there's
awesome!
A YouTube channel.
Oh, also dropping gems in the chat.
Oh no!
Let me see these links. Oh, Jessica Abel. Okay. What's Jessica's story?
Jessica Abel, Jessica AB It looks like it helps you. It's like a podcast and workshops and all kinds of cool stuff, books and talks and
Oh, to
everything.
try to get started.
That helps you, yeah, that helps you focus and get started and everything. So I'm gonna take a look at that too.
Awesome.
One
Cool.
fantastic.
Thanks, Alonzo. Cool.
Huh. Cool. So with that being said, I am going to share my.
Me too.
Here we go.
So I've been doing thinking about some stuff I want to show on the show. I think this week I'm going to open up a program called Substance Designer. What that program does is it's a program that allows you to be able to basically create shaders and create textures procedurally, right? Through a series of masks and noises and stuff like that. You can make anything you want. I'll share my screen, show you some examples of that. But the whole goal is, I think each week I'm doing little pockets of things to work toward the bigger thing. Last week I did some modeling. So I think I want to do a sci-fi theme, but I think it might be environmental. It won't be game res. It'll be rendered, so it'll be high res. So that'll be cool. But I've been in my personal time when I'm not at work, I like things that are cinematic. I'm really a big movie buff, really big comic book buff. And I like just cinematic content. You know, we always say do work that you want to do. So I took up a compositing class 2 years ago now, and I've been already doing that in work now. So from taking the class in my off time as my personal work, being able to then parlay that into doing that at work, which has been great. So now I get to use that new skill at work more so where they didn't have that before. So we've been doing a lot more animation style stuff at work where we'll do some type of animation. You know, we did one that we rendered all out in Unreal because it was more cost effective. It was rendered Unreal, and then we projected it on the wall. So it's not even a game. We use the game engine like it was a regular offline render. It was awesome. But now we're doing another one, but now we're going to do it all in like Redshift and render it out. So it'll be really cool animation we're doing. It'll be projected on the wall. So in my spare time, I think I want to do some type of scene. I really like matte paintings, as you know, too, Carlos. So maybe I do a hybrid of that. I think matte painters and stuff like that and concept artists for film, they get the best parts of the film without actually having to make the film. So they get, and then now concept art and all that good stuff for film is turned 3D. So while those concept artists still need to have a firm foundation in like actual, you know, drawing and composition and all that good stuff, they do these really cool scenes and stuff like that. Sometimes mostly it's like half 3D or it's composited together a little bit, but it's not the full thing. And then those guys then pass those off to the modeling departments and all that good stuff, and they make all the cool models work. But the scenes look cool. Just so I have a bunch of things on Pinterest where I have these epic looking scenes that I think I want to render out and make look more cinematic. And then mix a little bit of like matte painting for the background work, because I'm not gonna sit here and make a whole background. We'll do something, you know. Already in my older age, I could, but like, or I could try to do it like I like to do it on film and try to incorporate all those different like methods that they do in film to get the shot done.
Yeah,
where it'll still look just as 3D. I mean, maybe 80% of it's 3D, you know. Yeah. So I'm still having to do terrain and all the other good stuff. I'm gonna use another program called World Creator for the terrain. I think I'm gonna do some type of like scene. I don't know what the scene is yet. May have a mech in it, may have a character, get into some character stuff. I do want to do character work more too. Open up the ZBrush, or maybe some Marvelous Designer. So because I need some kind of spacesuit or something. It needs to just be epic. So we'll figure out what that is. But on the road to that, I need to make some of my own shaders and stuff like that. So I've been using Substance Designer. I'm going to pull that open. What you been doing, Carlos, while I get set up?
While you do that, what I'm going to do is explain to you what I will be working on. So back, I think it was last year, maybe even longer now, Jack and I started the Process Projects, and we had a logo, and
Yeah,
we had
that logo. I like the logo.
Right.
Yo, can we steal that logo for Sketch Zone? That'd be the new Sketch Zone logo. I like that logo. We should have that. You should. I'm surprised you didn't have a shirt with that. I'm derailing you. Sorry, but I think we should be putting some money into shirts. Now I have two designs.
Yeah. So this was
cool.
this is a collab between me and Jack. I for some reason we really click creatively.
He completes you.
Legit. He completes me. Yes. And we have some videos. If you go to, I think it's well, there you go. Theprocessprojects.net. You'll see some of the videos that built up to what I'm about to show you guys. But so this is the layouts that we had. We went through building an entire story, and it features, I don't even remember. We were trying to figure out what to name these guys, and we had a poll and everything. But so basically, let's see. Actually, no, it's fine. The story is no, actually, let's do this.
You probably got to explain the story. Yeah, you probably explain a little bit.
So if you go back and watch some of those videos, you'll see how we came up with a completely random story about a robot and a monster. And you know, if you go to theprocessprojects.net, it's going to tell you, it's going to break everything down. We're doing a really good job of breaking everything down and describing what we're doing. And it's, you know, Sketch Zone is live and it's fun because we get to meet people, but this is a little bit more produced, edited, and all kinds of cool stuff. So, so we have this robot and we have this monster. I don't think that we ever came up with names for them, but we'll figure that out. But now that we have, now that we're going to be working on projects while we talk to people and while we catch up, I was telling Jack that this was going to be my project. And so this is the story. The robot was adopted by this human family, and he wants to be like a regular boy.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah. And these kids are playing in the pool and having fun, but he can't play, obviously, because he's a robot and he would fry all the kids. So this is him in school. He's a brand new kid. And the kids don't really understand him because he's a robot. So they pick on him a little bit. There's a bully that tries to give him a wet willy. And because he's a robot and he's allergic to water, the bully gets zapped. The bully then tells him, threatens him, and then they're out in the playground, and he gets pushed over, knocked out, whatever it is. So the little robot is laying in the field all by himself, and everyone is making fun of him. And then it's lunchtime, so he goes to sit down, and no one wants him to sit with them because he's a new kid and the bully and all this stuff. And then way in the corner, this is where we see, here, let me do this. This is where we are introduced to the monster. And so the robot goes over to where the monster is, and they become friends. And what's funny is the robot is doing the robot, I thought that was hilarious. And apparently so does the monster. And so this is when the robot takes the monster home with him, because now they're friends, and they're playing hide and go seek. And I think these are reversed. I need to take a look, because this is them coming home, and then this is them home. This is them coming home, and then this is them at home playing hide and go seek. And then let's see. Okay, come on already. And then the next day, the robot goes to get on the bus, and the bully is here. The bully's here, and the robot is there. And the bully pushes the robot over, and the robot goes into like panic mode, and he makes his way back home. And the monster doesn't really know what the hell's going on, because he's never really met a robot. And so the robot actually goes back and docks itself in his little charging station back home. And then the parents walk in, and the room is in disarray. They blame the robot, but the robot was docked, right? So now he's upset, shaking his fist to the heavens. Double spread. No, this is not double spread. So then the next day, the robot is in the bus by himself, because the monster, for some reason, didn't really understand. So the robot knows that the monster tore up the room. Let's see. So then we come here. So then the robot gets to the school, and the monster is sitting on the jungle gym, and the robot is looking to figure out what the hell his problem was. And he starts to kind of pick a fight with the monster, and the bully wants to finish off the robot. But they're in the middle of an argument. And then the monster pushes the robot to tell him to leave me alone. The robot accidentally pushes the bully, who then falls. But then the robot saves him, and they're dangling there. Let's see what else happens. And then the bully is like, hey, thanks for saving my life. And then everyone is friends. So, yeah.
So what stage are you guys at now?
So what we have are the very loose storyboards. So now we go into sketching, like finalizing more of this of the drawings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So it's like Pinocchio and Frosty the Snowman. Yeah, I guess so. Is it a 2D short or a comic? It's a kid's book, Alonzo. It's a kid's book. Hope this isn't for kids. It's kind of depressing. Noel. I mean, it sets it up for.
Well, it's talking about bullying and a bunch of other topics.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think they're fleshing it all out.
And then at the end of it all, they end up, like, the bully ends up relaxing and doesn't want to pick on the robot anymore. And then the robot and the monster are friends. There's some discussions that happen here that are not in text form. But so, for example, they're having fun and they're playing and everything, but we find out within these stories that, well, to tell you the truth, the hidden secret is that you don't really know this, but the monster may be all part of the robot's imagination. Because no one really sees the monster ever. And then here we find out, I'd have to go back into the script to see how we find out, but you know, when we were going through the story and we were developing the story, like there was this whole thing where the robot goes to the monster's house, and the monster's parents are kind of mean and obnoxious, and so all that stuff. And I think that this is partly where that happens, or that gets explained. But yeah, again, poor robot and monster. Yeah, but they end up being friends. They end up watching like sunsets together.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna be so we have the story written, we have the storyboards done. So now it's just basically tightening up the drawings, but not all the way finalized, not inking and coloring and that stuff. Just kind of getting things put together. Do not disturb.
All right, let's share my screen. All right, so I got it all set up. Let's go ahead and share this screen. Share this screen. All right. I think every once in a while you'll probably have to click between mine and yours, Carlos. So it goes full screen for them. Whereas every once in a while I will kick back toward on Twitch stream, going back and forth too, so I can see it.
Okay.
But yeah. So, I should do this first. So just for those guys who are curious, this is Substance Designer. It's a node-based software, meaning nodes are these little square boxes here. And when you connect them to other nodes to create this web of awesomeness. So nice. with the input being to create a texture. So at the bottom here, you have your 3D view where you can see the texture that you're creating. And then left here, you have your 2D view. Now, Substance Designer uses a series of basically masks, black and white mask, and noises and stuff like that you can then feed into different blends. You can then blend different things together. So what you're seeing here is I'm making like a terrain, like a dirt terrain, something like that. Think of some type of lunar surface or something like that. Working on the height here. I don't have my height up here, so I can probably work on my scale here. Hold on here. And do that. Take down the disorder. Like that. And start to mess with my height so that I get some like hills and valleys. I'll mess with the parameters on that. But so what it does is you can make anything. So if I were to switch it up a bit here, change my screen here. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up some examples from the site so you can kind of see the people been making pretty much amazing different things with this program. And then you feed those in, you create like a little library so that if I'm making a sci-fi scene, if I was making some sort of like city level or whatever, I needed a bunch of different types of like windows and stuff like that on the side of my buildings or something, or if I needed gravel or streets or sidewalks or brick textures, whatever you could think of. This program allows you to make them from scratch procedurally by using all these different types of nodes and and blending things together to make them. Back in the day, we'll say circa, I guess, early 2000s, 2000, 2010, 12, 13, back in there, all those days, the biggest proponent in texturing for 3D was using Photoshop, right? You can manipulate textures through taking photos and manipulating photos, going to different websites and stuff like that, taking your own photos and, cleaning them up, creating perfectly tiled images that we then would put on our models, paint over them, do stuff in Photoshop. And that was like the main tool when it came to using, making textures and stuff like that. Same with the industry. And then same with the movie industry, whatever, they would use different things. And then different programs like Mari and ZBrush came about where it started to allow you to paint on the mesh and stuff like that. So you could take your 3D model and just start painting directly on it instead of painting it flat in Photoshop and then applying it to your 3D model. And then Substance came along. And Substance Designer came first. This program came first, where they found a way to create different nodes. And then you have you can put bitmaps and blurs and embosses, and all these different levels and all these different mathematical, nodes and equation stuff to put together different textures and stuff. It was like a different way of texturing. It was a different way of creating, textures and stuff like that some people had to get used to, right? Including myself, that was coming from a Photoshop background. The notion of making something with a series of Perlin noise, these black and whites here, and then running them through a blend, which then we run them through a normal map generator to create a normal map, which is a normal map we use in games and stuff. It's a way to show off surface detail based on lighting. Was kind of cool. It was kind of interesting. And then people in the visual effects industry and stuff like that, they're used to who use compositors and some people who use Maya and stuff for texturing. They're used to using these node-based setups, So the company Substance came out with this first, and then they came out with another program called Substance Painter, which is basically the same thing like I talked about earlier, which is being able to bring your model in and then paint on top of it. It's really kind of changed the industry, and now it's starting to catch on in the visual effects industry where they're starting to use it. And because now you can create libraries, this whole libraries you can download and stuff like that with different textures to get you started, different shaders and materials and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. So the material that I make in here, I can then bundle this material, export it out as a little shader. It's called a substance file. Bring it into Substance Painter, and now I have a preset. So say I needed to say I was recreating my house to make it more simple for you guys to do 2D. And how many different materials do you need for your house? Where I need the wood that makes up my wood floor. So I need to create that, right? I need the brick that makes up the outside of my house. I need the stucco that makes up the walls. And, I need the different types of metals that make up my radiators and all that other good stuff. I need painted wood, how many different colors do I need of that? How many different, what do I need to make I need different types of glass and stuff like that. I need frosted glass for my windows in my bathroom. All these things, you start creating a list of different materials you may need. Now, back in the day, before a program like Substance Designer, you would have to then go take a bunch of series of photos, and then I'll have to clean up all these photos in Photoshop and stuff like that, and paint over them, make sure they tile correctly so that you don't have any weird seams, so that when I apply a wood texture to the floor, it looks great. Then I don't have to convert them and make them into normal maps and stuff, which allows me to have height information in there. So when the light hits it in the 3D scene, it looks like it's actually wood and not an ugly photo, right. All these different things. And that process at a game studio or at a movie studio, it was the same, but then you would have different departments, right? You looked at a department, you have your materials and texture artists and stuff like that at game studios and stuff like that. And it used to be a notion of having all these different cool Photoshop scripts and all these different ways of making presets, and having all these websites like CG Textures and stuff that allow you to give you a head start and allow you to find good reference images and clean reference images that don't have a lot of lighting in them you know, for people that are taking pictures. It was big business in the CG industry for having these type of texture type websites, you know, these vast websites that have every type of image you can think of, you know, pictures of rocks in Brazil and in you know, New Zealand, pictures of like all types of like decrepit old barns that you can take a piece of the texture of the side of a barn. So you have like distressed wood. There's all these different like websites devoted to like images, and photographers, you know, would go out and take all these different pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, you know, fast forward to now where you have a engine like Substance Designer. You can have a texture artist is really good, or a tech artist is really good at Substance Designer. He can spend, you know, a couple hours in the Substance Designer, make the perfect wood grain texture, right? And then create the wood grain texture, add the attributes for the wood grain texture, meaning attributes are the little sliders that you can house with that shader. So that, say I want the wood grain to go, you know, horizontally, or I need to go vertically, or I need to have these type of swirls, I need to have knots in the wood. He can go in and make all these different things, and then you can edit these on the fly, Carlos. So
nice.
So then, okay, cool. How many different types of color wood do you need? Well, I need cherry, I need oak, I need, you know, strong maple, I need all these, you know, I need stained wood. And then he can create color information too, right? Put that in a slider, right? So you can change the colors and stuff, package all that up together, export it out as a substance file, give it to Charlie, who's the environment artist in the environment department, and say, here's your wood pack, right? I open it up in Substance Painter, and now I have all these same sliders that he set up with all these different colors, right? Take it a step further if you don't want to do Substance Painter. Take that same substance file that he made in Substance Designer. It's your ultimate wood shader, right? Bring that into a game engine like Unity or Unreal, and then I can add it straight to my environment floor, and then be able to tweak the actual texture live, meaning like, oh, I don't like all the knots in the wood. Okay, cool. Turn the knot slider down and take all the knots out. And now you have one of those perfect wood floors you see in those Archviz, you know, renderings and stuff. Or the stain is too dark. Okay, cool. I need it to be a totally different stain, maybe, or I needed to be stainless. I needed to be just like untreated wood. Okay, cool. Let's turn off all the colors. And now you have that. And you can always go back and change it. Back in the day, you used to have to go back, you know, change the Photoshop file, change the texture, re-export out the maps, re-export out all the maps for that makes up that wood shader, and then import those back into the game engine or update the game engine. It was a crazy back and forth process, you know. And now this tool just makes it so that like you can literally create anything you can think of. So it's really nice, really cool. Let me check the chat.
Cool.
Yeah, it's like I can talk about it for days, but like it's really cool.
Noel says you must have great attention to detail.
Yeah, you have to a little bit, you know, especially if you're working in a team. You always want to try to figure out, you know, what's more efficient. And I think these companies and stuff that build these programs, they started to think that way. And like this company, you know, just talk about what it takes to make a mark in, you know, from a software standpoint. Somebody had the great idea to do this and be able to, you know, capitalize on it. And then the hard part is like what changing the way people think, right? Like it took Substance did something really cool. They released this program for free for like 2-3 years. I don't know if Alonzo's still here.
Yeah, he's actually asking, how did you learn it?
Okay, yeah, that's what I did. I started learning it on and off. So like as an environment artist, I knew I always would have to like really dive in and learn it. So I'm still learning it now. So I'm definitely no expert at it at all. And Wes McDermott, which is an artist that was big in the community, and he was doing tutorials and stuff like that, and was like a content creator similar to Carlos on YouTube and all these different places. And now he works for Substance, and he just has a tutorial guy voice, and he just like released a new tutorial series through Substance called Making Your First Substance Texture. So I redid it. So I always come back to this, Alonzo. This is one of those ongoing things that I'm trying to master this program, because I understand as an environmentalist, I understand how important this is, but I also understand like this could be really used for like more cinematic and VFX works too, not just for games. So I want to do that. I want to make these materials and send them through an offline render like Redshift and stuff like that, and light it so it looks photorealistic and all that good stuff, and kind of use it for film-based things, which they're trying to get people to do too. And there's some people like Grayscale Gorilla. They do a lot of good tutorials and stuff. They're big in the motion industry. They've been Chad Ashley, who's like their main 3D guy over there now, creative director over there at that place that does all these trainings and stuff for Cinema 4D and all these other programs. He gets it. So he started using Substance, and he's been using Substance too to release like shader packs and stuff like that. All the big Substance designer guys online have been doing that. So I'm like, ooh, I should get into that. Yeah, you got to stay on top of it. And like the cool part about that's one of the things I like about not being at a game studio. Yeah, not being at a game studio anymore, which is like I was constantly looking at stuff at home in the evenings anyway when I was working. But game studios are so locked down that like I think more of them are like starting to catch on with Substance and stuff like that they need it. That like sometimes you be like a year, 2, 3 years behind because like the tech artists or like the CG supervisor, whoever at that studio is not gonna like. It's hard to integrate a new program and then keep bringing money in so that you can like keep doing your projects, because like Alonzo, you start on one game and then you get rolled off of that game halfway through and you start on another one. Meanwhile, if you don't have the company structure where you have an R&D department with your programmers, or a tools department or a tech art department, like it gets hard to like bring these new programs in, because heaven forbid the no is like starting to use a program mid-production and you don't know all the mishaps. And sometimes studios have to do that, but like that's the crazy part, because you don't know what's going to go wrong. So that way studios pretty much stay strict, guys, to what they know works, and they don't introduce new programs until they've totally vetted it. Now that could take, years to do, and next thing you know, 5 years go by, you leave a company and you realize, oh, Substance designer and Substance painter is a thing now. No one's really using Photoshop to texture anymore. And no one's painting everything in ZBrush like they thought they would. They're like moving to Painter, or they're moving to Mari, or they're doing this, and you're like, man, because you went home, played games or did whatever in the evening. And I know a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
They got their game job. They work at a place for 15 years. And I know some people just still rather texture in Photoshop. Really? Come on, dude. Really? Or how long it take you to get on to ZBrush or Mudbox or whatever, because in their pipeline every day at work, they don't use ZBrush. They use Photoshop or whatever. Or maybe they'll jump on the Substance painter, but they still don't know ZBrush, to a good standard,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean that falls back on what we were talking about earlier. Just continuously working on your own stuff, because it just continues to make you a really good artist. In this case, it makes you a really good artist, and you get faster at doing things. And it's ironic that we're talking about this, because I was actually recording a video today for I might be done editing tomorrow, that I'll release tomorrow, but I was talking about how many bad drawings do you have to do to become efficient? You have to get through a certain amount of bad drawings to be a relatively good artist. So you might as well practice to get all that stuff out of the way. And that's everything that we're talking about tonight, is exactly that. Like, just continue to create things, continue to do things, continue to learn, because if you stop, you might as well just call it, because technology moves in just that fast. Yeah, you need to continue to learn and continue to, I mean, it's you have to have the passion for it.
All right, so I got some eye candy for you guys. If you can click on my screen, Carlos, I'm gonna share this guy.
Eye candy.
So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to switch it. Hey, that's me. Hi. All right, cool. I'll switch it again, and let's do.
All right, I don't.
So this is an artist called. His name is Chris Hodgson, and I just give you some examples of like how far you can take this thing, the substance designer thing. And I think for the first couple of weeks we'll get you set up on like all the different programs I like to use. I'll give a little bit of brief description, and then after a while, I don't have to talk about it, and I can just get in there and do it. But I feel like I need to lay some groundwork. So, if you go on ArtStation, look up substance designer, you can see this dude is an environment artist at Naughty Dog. Oh, Chris, I talked about a game studio, but I will make an exception for Naughty Dog. I've tried to get a Naughty Dog once back in the day. Suffice to say, I didn't get in, but I did get past the initial fluff and got an art test and a couple of talkings that just didn't work out. But Naughty Dog's one of those. It's one of those studios where they have the philosophy that everybody does work. I love it. Even the head of the studio was like a programmer too, so he'll take tasks during projects. I don't know if he still does, but that's how they used to be. And I'd be like, dang, everybody's doing work there. There's no art director that doesn't do work. Everybody has tasks.
That's
cool. You know it's good. But Chris is an environment artist, but he's an environment texture artist. So Naughty Dog is a big company. So at game studios, depending on the size of the company, they compartmentalize the tasks, right? So you can be an environment artist. I feel like the environment artist is the best job to be because we do most of the work. I'm just a little biased. 90% of what you see on the screen is something I created. But at a bigger studio, you might only do environments, right? But you might not even textures. You might only model and layout for the environments, or you might only model for the environments. And usually what happens at Naughty Dog is they pair you up, which I would love to work in this type of situation. Did I say I like Naughty Dog? Anyway, and I don't even really, I'm all on this whole cinematic movie thing, but Naughty Dog still has got a special place in my heart. Anyway, they pair you up, which is kind of cool, Carlos. So like what they do is they pair you up with, so say I'm an environment modeler, I'm an environment artist. I got an environment artist gig at Naughty Dog, but I have affinity for modeling more. So they'll say, okay, cool. You're going to model, and then they'll pair me with an environment texture artist. And together we'll get a level, right? Or a section of a level. So basically you have a buddy that you work with every day. He's building all the textures for the environment, and you're modeling the stuff out. And obviously you got to do UVs and all that good stuff to just make sure the textures look good once they get on the models. But that's basically what you're doing. It's kind of a cool gig. It's like teamwork makes the dream work, right? So like that. I sound like Rainbow Push or something, like Jesse Jackson or something. Anyway, that's what it is. It's kind of cool. So he's an environment texture artist, and the texture artists at Naughty Dog are pretty badass. But as you can see, I'm going to show you just some of his different work that he's done in Substance Designer. So it's a replication 11, Substance Designer material replication. So it's like, so this is kind of cool. And he has all these different materials that he's made in Substance. Now, like I said, when I say you can make anything, here's like a lunar surface, you can make anything. And usually what he's doing, he's showing you the breakdown, right? So he's got it all lit and colored real cool, but then he has the gray version and then the shader ball for it. Really cool. Now, Chris Hodges, I picked him because he's pretty well known for the Substance stuff. Mm-hmm. So say sci-fi stuff, right? Before, I used to have to make this by hand in like Illustrator using a series of like, the pen tool or whatever, and then bring it into Photoshop and texture it so it looks like this. Or I would model, like I would take a plane in like 3ds Max back in the day, and I would model this stuff out in the front view, right? And then I would then be able to towel this as a texture. I would then take the UVs into Photoshop and paint my texture. And now I have my one towel sheet, or I would towel it a certain way on in my UVs so that it just kept repeating. Now you can do all that stuff in Substance where you can make these really cool sci-fi panels. Look at this. So he has a bunch of different variations, and this stuff still has some height to it, even though this is a flat texture. So now if you see like any of those like sci-fi games and stuff that you like Halo and all those things, like a lot of like the all that like cool like like metal work and like all these cool like sci-fi panels and like intricate like ship holes and all that good stuff. Well, some of that is just tiling textures, on top, so that like because no one has time to model every little thing, but you do have time to put together a shader, right? And then be able to change the colors on the fly. Look at this. So right now, this is what 4 different versions of the same thing, So it gives the artist, it'll give that environment artist more options. If that texture artist, gives them like 4 or 5 different variations. You know how much of a level you can texture with 4 different versions of a thing? Because I would get crazy with it. Like I would just take this section of the like vent and put that everywhere, and I would be scaling it, warping it. So it'd be like 5 different types of vents just off of this vent here, and then I would just take this small square section here, throw that in a bunch of places, maybe just the plate. I would scale the plate up and it'd be a big, huge man-sized plate. Like I would do a bunch of different things. I would use it as wall textures, use it as floor textures. You could do a bunch of different things with textures because, like Carlos said earlier when we talked about Alonso's reel, like you have to be efficient with your memory management for game development. So use things more than once, basically, But the trick is to use it more than once and doesn't look like you use it more than once. Everything looks like it's supposed to be original or not a copy. That is the mark of a really good environment artist. Also, I don't have chat up, Carlos, so if there's any questions, let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, look at this. So he gets really crazy. Like, here's that. I told you about brick. So he does brick. So the brick that not only does brick, do you know how long it would take to do this back in the day? Like to get the perfect brick grout, you would have to go find it. I've walked by construction sites and be like, ooh, that's a really good looking brick. And I've stopped and had to take a picture of my phone and like try to use that or like go come back with a camera and take pictures. So then you got variations. It gives you all, and these are all the different textures that go into a game, right? So you have your color map, you have your height map that gives everything like depth, right? And then you have your normal map, your roughness map, which is the surface of the object. So things that are like shiny, like chrome, have a really smooth surface at the micro level, right? So if you looked at chrome under a microscope or whatever, it's really smooth surface. So when light hits it, that's why it's all warps and everything's cool. If you look at brick at a microscopic level, it's bumpy, right? So when light comes in from the sun and hits the brick, it breaks up, right? So that means things don't look as shiny. It looks more dry, right? So if I'm trying to be in simple terms. So a roughness map dictates the surface of an object nowadays. Back in like, I would say, and maybe Alonso knows this too, back in 2012, 2011, there was a shift in game development where we went to more physical based rendering methods. So as we came out of the dark ages, as I like to call it, where we would fake things like Carlos, you remember you have things back in unit school like specular maps and stuff like that. There were fake reflections and stuff like that. Yeah. Games after 2012 was able to actually do those things based off of like Pixar's BDRF shader. I'm getting really technical, sorry. Anyway, they changed the model so that we could actually, they changed the way we can do textures so we could actually make things look like how they are in real life. Ooh, better explanation. Good job, Charlie. So they basically changed it up, which is really nice. So now we can make things look just like Chrome. We can make brick look like how brick really looks in real life and not have to fake things like we used to have to do before. But it's just variations. Variation on top of variation.
Yeah, all of a sudden everything went PBR.
Yeah. So because we made everything accurate, And then look, when you become a goat, this is what your thing can look like. You see my little 6 or 8 node thing? Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Now this can look intimidating.
20% of our listeners officially dropped off just now. That's just kidding.
You know, like it can look crazy, but it's cool. It's cool. So long story short with the substance stuff is that it just allows you to make really cool textures. And then Carlos, cool thing about it, people get really artsy with it. Like, you know, they start to make stuff like this and crazy. They try to figure out crazy replication textures and stuff because the nodes are just a series of math, right? And if you really get like to become a really good artist, I feel like anything like the big misconception with 3D and even like with film and other things, and even to a point, I mean, I would even say you're 2D artist too, because like when you're counting frames, you're figuring out, or if you're animating by hand, if you're figuring out what beat you have to animate on and stuff like that, it's math. It's all math. It's all a level of math that you have to learn, you know,
right?
That coupled with the artistic ability, and that's the big misconception, right? I didn't understand it until I got in the industry of how much math I would have to use. And I would call it functional math. I'm not talking about like, you know, crazy equations or something crazy. Just like
quantum
simple conversion stuff, right? Feet to meters, like, you know, like inches to centimeters, you know, stupid stuff like that. I said stupid stuff. Stuff like that. You know, like
mathematicians just texted me.
Yeah, it was like it's just like little things, you know. But to be able to make this type of stuff, like knowing what a blend node does and knowing what a sine node does and stuff like that, and how it can change your textures and stuff, it's cool. So on the surface, after all the technicals that I talked about, it just makes really cool looking rock. Look at that. Just like that, like you'd have to spend like hours sculpting by hand, where these guys are generating these things on the fly. Like as an environment artist, times change where like you're not going to be able to have time to like go in a ZBrush, start from a plane, and then like no matter how fast you are in ZBrush, you know, generate this level of quality, and then to be able to change this functionality on the fly just by like a slider. This is why you got to learn this type of things, because that type of speed allows you to be even more creative, right? If you know it's not going to take you, you know, 2 days to do that rock face anymore, you know, and you can get 8 variations of that done in the same amount of time it took you to do one, how better will that game look? You know, it's cool. So that's substance. I like it a lot. I shied away from it for a while because I was stubborn, but I see the benefits in it. Stuff like this, like, you know, how long would that take you to make by hand in Photoshop for an artist that can do that now, you know, versus like someone else that can do it? Look at, because you would think, oh, back in the day, they're like, oh, you can never get that level of detail. Everything will look more computer generated. It'll look fake. It'll look weird. That's the things that people would say. The artists would say they were wanted to be lazy and not learn substance, or it's too technical. But like, I know artists have done this by hand back in the day. Like think of like Gears of War back in the day, that game, if anybody's played those video games and stuff like that, or Halo, or like they were making all these maps by hand back in the, you know,
yeah,
there wasn't substance designer. You know, I'm talking about the first couple ones that looked great, you know, the rock stars, you know, that had like years and stuff to work on this stuff. You know, this has like depth to it, right? It's not just like a top level and a bottom level. It has a couple layers deep of things, you know. And basically, I used to get scared of these type of maps here, all these little node maps. But now what you do as an artist, if you start learning this stuff, you just look at it and be like, okay, cool. They start out with a shape node, you know, made it an alpha, then use the blend. That blend gets fed into this. You know, it's just like if you're an illustrator, if you think about like working in Illustrator and you wanted to make that agreeable shape, like how would you do it, right? You would start off with, you know, a circle, then you have a couple, you know, all it is a series of black and white masks, you know, that are blended together, you know, and then those masks get added on top. And then what you have to do is like, you have to be able to like compartmentalize things. So you're like, cool, I worked on the circle part. Now I'm going to copy. Now I'm going to move this over, and now I'm going to work on the chain part, you know? And then once you get done with the chain part, you say, okay, cool, I'm going to take my chain part, I'm going to feed it into my circle, you know? So if you look at it more and more, and I used to hate when people say it doesn't look that complicated, but I do understand that after a while, you're just working off of in sections. Like we talked about crafting earlier today. If you're making like, if you're cutting out a bunch of construction paper to make a cool project, you would like cut out all your different pieces, right? And you put things in different areas. And you're like, okay, cool. Here's all my circles for my sunflower. Here's all my petals. And here's all my stems. And here's all my leaves, right? That's what you're doing with all these nodes, right? You're just making your different sections. And then when you're done, you're bringing them all back together and putting them all together. So then when you pull the node graph back, it looks like a webbed map like this. But that's just because people are off working on different things. And you have these things called frames where you just label it like color, surface, the cracks, the pebbles, It's kind of cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Are you doing the fun prompt?
No, I'm doing the book.
Oh, you're doing a book. You're doing a book. So you're still in the storyboarding phase. You got doing the roughs.
Yeah, we did storyboards, and I'm getting into roughs now.
Nice.
And then so the way that we decided to go about this project is since Jack is hella busy, I'm gonna end up doing the drawings, and then he's going to take on the art director role. And
nice.
And then I forget, like he said he's gonna do something else too, like the graphic design or whatever of the actual book. So yeah, we're gonna try to figure out as much as possible how to do this project, and then and be able to share all the steps with you guys, like everything from building the story to storyboards to even communicating with the printers. We got to the point where we were going to use a printing company, and I had reached out to them, and we're going to have them come on the show and everything, come on this show and talk about the process of working with them, type of stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I
like it.
So this is it's a lot of fun, and we have been going at this for 2 hours already. Nice. So I think it would probably be a good time to wrap this guy up.
All right.
Unless you got some more stuff you want to talk
No, I feel like I got a good base for substance, so I don't have to talk about it for a while. So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Only because, like, when you look at this project, like, what the hell is he in? But now, I feel like people kind of got an understanding. So when they see me pop back and forth between 3 or 4, like next week, we'll be talking about World Creator because I'm gonna start making the surface.
Oh, cool.
And then we need to pop back into Pinterest and probably have you guys help me pick a scene. I'm gonna go ahead and put together a bunch of concepts. I have a vault on Pinterest that no one can see but myself, and I put all the stuff I really like in there. Nice. So that's been my who's who of like concepts and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think I want something like, I think the style I'm going for is like, what's that one movie with well, I really liked last year the one with Matt Damon. What was that movie? The space one.
Oh, The Martian.
The Martian, and then the other one, Matthew McConaughey.
Not The Other Side. What's it called?
Help me out, chat.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna do. It is called Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar. And I just saw a short, you know. I won't go handy with
John
that.
is here. What's up, John? Thanks for the help, buddy.
Yeah. And then I saw a short that was really cool too on YouTube. I found this YouTube channel that does animated, not animated, but like cinematic shorts, like, you know, independent filmmakers and stuff like that. Yeah. And like they did, I watched this one video about this like Air Force pilot who's in space, and he was testing out the first light speed spacecraft. And like it was a really touching story because it showed his family and said he'll be back and whatever. And obviously something goes wrong, you know. You know, of this short was perfect. Like it felt like it should be at a movie theater. Ooh. Like so, like you could see the Earth behind him, but like all the modeling and stuff looked really good. And I could talk to Jack about this too. It was like learning all the different parts of a VFX shot in terms of the compositing and all the other good stuff. It's like understanding what makes the model go from, you know, standard 3D model, you know, a 3D model that's been, you know, composited into a scene, but still looks like a 3D model, to those models you see on the film where like it really looks like it's set in there. If you know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like a 3D model anymore. You know it's a 3D model because it's not real, but at the same time it fits with the live action person or whatever. So if I can create a still on that level, I'd be happy. And finding this YouTube page, which I'll have to find it for you guys next week. It's cool because they had like a bunch, Carlos. Like you can get lost for a couple hours watching these 10-minute like shorts, and they all were at good quality. Like really good quality. Even with the filming itself, like you would like the cinematography, like what makes the look? Are they using DaVinci Resolve? And I know you don't get hung up in like, you know, what programs they use, whatever, but I think that's a trap. We can talk about it another day. I hate when artists say that because it is about the programs you use too, but whatever, I'm going against the grain on that one. But at the same time, you like, what's the technique? You know, what's the colorist technique that allows you to like grade a film to make it look like a film? You know, what's the color theory that goes into it that gets the hues that makes that 3D model not look like, you know, that makes the surface of that model with all the texturing? Because you could have a amazing textured model and you could try to like place it in Photoshop or somewhere else like that. Not Photoshop, sorry. You could place it into an image or whatever, and it still look like a 3D model, right? What makes it, like if you put your cup on your front porch, you know, you modeled one in like, you know, whatever 3D program, it's still gonna look like it's in 3D unless you know how to set it in that scene correctly. And that's what it did. It looked really good, man. Like I was impressed.
Can I go ahead and say I'm glad Alonzo finally found us, because this dude, he speaks our language, man.
Yeah.
He just sent this link in the chat for a Kickstarter project, Slice of Life.
Nice.
Original short film homage to 80s sci-fi.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I even like that poster. You know, like that'd be cool, right? You just do the poster. Like if you go to my art station too, I had a painting I did who you just got liked. It was like, I love when they do these posters. That was another thing. My walls in here are bare, but this room has a weird slant to it. Oh, that looks good. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Kind of cool. See what I'm saying? Like I found a thing. I mean, I see all the influences of all the movies in the last 2 years, but at the same time, if it's done well, it's really good.
Alonzo said the guys who made this in their garage with Trash Kit Bash.
Trash Kit Bash? Oh, they made it with Kit Bash? Oh, I know about Kit Bash. That's why when I said like concept is turning 3D, they have these whole sites now for concept artists that are 3D guys.
You see, this here is going to be dangerous for me. I'm going to be losing my mind catching up with these guys.
Yeah, like that's what I said. There's definitely techniques to all this stuff, you know, besides the stereotypical, you know, Learn the fundamentals. After that, like I think the niche, the void is being missed is like the inspirational training and stuff for the mid-tier artists to senior level artists. There's not enough of that. There's a lot of like getting into the game, beginner stuff, you know. There's not a lot of like after you've got in, you've been doing it for like 8 years, you know.
Right.
And I think what's that one site that does the master level classes and they bring in like the crazy like directors and stuff. I always see ads on it on YouTube.
Masterclass.
Is it it's called Masterclass?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do see those guys. But they need to be more of that because they're going to tell you the straight technique and not just be like learn the fundamentals. Like telling artists to learn the fundamentals has been doing like animation for like for 12 years is a little bit different than like somebody who's in college, you know?
Right.
So
for the last minute and 20 seconds of the show, let's watch the trailer for this because then I'm going to get lost in following up with these guys.
Yeah, go full screen with it.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to move some of these things just so I can make sure that we're good. All right. Here we go. All right, here you go. And I got the music turned up. Let me know if you can hear that. Oh, actually, hold up. I can bring the speaker over
here. I can hear it.
And let me tell you something. The importance of music and sound effects when you're doing something like this, don't skimp. Just don't. Like, all of this stuff matters. Anyway, we're coming back. Here we go.
Oh, they're doing tiny models. Nice. Using that blue light, aren't they? The car is like a Hot Wheel. Nice. I can tell. That's awesome. Nice. Guys, go check that out. It looks like it has a lot of process.
Slice.
Go look at.
Slice.
How are they doing on the Kickstarter? Are they close?
I want to say that. Oh, I don't. Okay. So out of a $25,000 goal, they got $81,750.
Oh, they're in there.
When did this happen?
They're in there.
Oh, that just like 6 months ago, July 2018.
Dude, they all quit their job. They doing this full time. That's 80 grand.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wait a minute. How much does what you call it take?
What do you mean? What you call it?
Kickstarter.
Oh, they take a small percentage. It's not real big, but
like 70. So say they got 70 grand out of the 80.
Easily, yeah. They might take like 3 or 4%. I want to say.
Can you quit your job off of
15%?
15%?
I don't think they take that much. Can
you quit your job off?
You know, if you hated your job, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many guys? He say 4 guys?
That part I don't know. Let's see. Slice of life film about. They have 2 directors.
Oh, they got a lot of people.
Not really. They're all
2
doing different things. So there's
2 of them.
3.
Yeah, you split that down.
There's Luca, Dino, Anton, Ivica.
Those all could be hired actors.
Emilia, Tim, Ryan. Did I say Nico already?
Yeah, you did.
So. Did I?
I think so.
No, I don't think so. So let's see. Nico, where'd you go? Alexa, Adam. So that's 10. John is 11. Brandon is 12. Todd is 13. Jurgen is 14. Guillermo is 15. Robert, 16. Reginald is 17.
Where are these people's family?
I bet you they're kind of all over the place. Like all over the planet. Because you can't have names like Anton Svetic and then follow that up with Reginald Welkin or Robert Schill. You know what I mean? Guillermo Martinez, I don't think lives right down the street from like Ivica Postchiki.
I'd believe it in Chicago.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's true. I take it all back. They all live in Chicago.
Carlos just had a flashback to his youth.
Yeah, seriously. Dude.
Public school up the street.
But yeah, exactly. My public school experience, man, if that shit doesn't fix racism, I don't know what would.
Nice.
Like I had friends like from all over the planet.
Yeah.
All over the planet. And it was a wonderful experience.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Anyway, so yeah, that's sliceoflifefilm.com.
Cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Alonzo.
And with that said, hey Charlie, if people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. I got Instagram.com/CharlieBW3. You can find me at my website, cargocollective.com/CharlieBWilliams. Check out my reel. My reel's on there. 2018 reel. It's outdated now. Well, it's not really outdated, but for last year's reel, it's on there. Check on the front page. Also on Vimeo, look up Charlie B. Williams III. You can find me there. You can find me on Almighty Pinterest, pinterest.com/CharlieBW3. I have a bunch of different boards. They've changed Pinterest. They haven't been there in a while, so I know when you look at my stuff now. And then by my stuff, I mean my collective stuff of finding different cool inspirational stuff from all over the web. It's the best type of aggregator if you're trying to find reference, if you're trying to get it inspired, if you're trying to build up a library of knowledge, if you're a 2D artist, 3D artist, painter, whatever, what have you, there's something there for you. Go check it out. Check out what I have for you there. Got a bunch of different things. Check it out. Get in your life.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hey. And if you're looking for me, please do so. Go to coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. And when you go there, it's going to bounce you to my YouTube channel. I'm making a lot of really cool content. So go ahead and subscribe there. And if you're watching us here, go ahead and subscribe here and then hit that little bell, because in that way, whenever we do anything, you'll be alerted. And if you can't watch us live, you can catch us at sketch.zone, and there you're going to find all the links to everything. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff.
And also Jack.
Don't
forget about Jack.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Iggy Doodles. Thanks for doing the fun prompt, which this week is policeman in Chicago.
Chicago PD.
Police officer in Chicago. And if you do participate in the fun prompt, go ahead and tag us. Go through the actual process of tagging people. Go in there and then type Sketch Zone and then tag us. And then if you want to double, make sure do at Sketch Zone on the comments, and then that way we'll see it twice as much.
And if you're looking for Jack, where can you find him, Carlos?
Yeah, hold up. I was going to do that right now.
Oh.
So then go ahead and do that on the Instagram.
Instagrams.
And yeah, if you're looking for Jack, it's sketchbookjack.com, sketchbookjack everywhere else. I don't think Jack is going to be here next week either.
He's still Jetson
in 2 weeks, but
yeah, he's busy.
But yeah, we'll be here.
We're gonna hold it down for him.
We try to be here every week, every Thursday night. So if you're here or if you're not, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said before, subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching live on Twitch, go ahead and hit that button down there too. Or actually up there too.
It's above us.
Yeah. So do that, subscribe. And then if you can't catch us on either one of those platforms, you can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and of course, iTunes, among other places, but those are the big ones. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're good. We'll be back next week, talk about some more stuff.
Oh, real quick before, let me make sure that this is still up.
I feel like things are coming up next couple of weeks. I feel like there's some things we're getting out of the early part of January, moving into the new year. I think we'll probably have some.
I wanted to show one more cult member.
Oh, is that Indiana Jones?
Yeah, John Harrington. He chimed in over here in the chat too. So nice. Yeah, that's good stuff. Good job, John. Welcome to the fun prompt, sir.
Yeah. Good job. Good stuff, John. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's it for us, guys.
Yeah, guys.
See you next weekend. Alonzo, I emailed you already. So go ahead and hit your boy back up. All right, guys. That's it for us.
See you soon.
Have a good week.
Bye, guys.